What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe all of our YouTube videos by hitting that notification bell. Buy a subscribe button as well. If you'd like to donate to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, you can do so by hitting that like button, or you can go into our Cash App where it says $ BJ Matthews. Again, $ BJ Matthews. You can donate that way as well, or our YouTube page. That button where it says thanks with the heart symbol on the same line where it says like, dislike, and share. You can scroll over and you can click that button as well to donate. So let's get popping. Oh man, we got another great episode for y'all today, man. I know you guys are probably waiting for me to, touch on this whole Kyrie Irving situation. Me and Rick are gonna do that on Sunday. We're gonna have a live discussion, a live, talking about that in full depth because a lot of things, I mean, that we need to break down. As a matter of fact, we're probably gonna need about 30, 40 minutes of us actually just us talking without people, coming in. So we're gonna, open the lines up probably after a 45-minute soliloquy between us two because there's so many things that we're breaking down. We're still researching right now to actually get to the nuts and bolts of everything so we can touch all the angles. But that will be done on Sunday on our show. So make sure y'all come in. If y'all are not subscribed to the podcast, make sure you hit that notification bell because you guys are not going to want to miss that show. But here's a good subject we got today, man. I wanted to kind of touch on. And I'm just like looking around the league, man. And not just this year, but years of past. We talked about the last year when a lot of teams didn't have their best player, one of their best players. The Clippers, of course, missing Kawhi Leonard and Anthony Davis being hurt last year multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Jamal Murray having his injury. A lot of things that I'm seeing with this generation. I'm trying to ask myself, why are players getting more hurt when there's better facilities, more technology, um, this, that, and the other, man? Why are players getting more and more hurt? Why are players playing less and less games when there's more things, more better weight rooms, better facilities, all this stuff available that they didn't have back in the other days? But those players, you would see they'd be a lot more durable. They play about 82 games a season, 80 games a season. Michael Jordan played 82 games 9 times in his 14-year career. Even up at his age, when he's like about 40 years old, he was playing multiple games. AC Green, I think, holds the record for most games played in a row. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it's a ridiculous number. You know what I'm saying? AC Green played in the 80s. Karl Malone, we already know he was a physical fitness guru. People like to talk about these players are bigger, faster, and stronger, man. Karl Malone would probably be able to be as strong as anybody in the league right now. You know what I'm saying? Kept his body in tremendous shape. His teammate, John Stockton, rarely missed games. I remember Jerry Sloan, the coach of the Utah Jazz, said that John Stockton only missed practice one time in his 20-year career. So when I hear that these players are, bigger, faster, stronger, they have, more technology, it's not even close, all this stuff, I have to ask, why are players getting more and more injured? And this is a serious problem because what it's doing is taking the excitement from the game when our superstars are not available. See, even me, I'm a 90s baby. I'm used to seeing my players play, the stars play. But when we start looking at these injuries, these players getting hurt, guys who are supposed to be on the court, people spend their hard-earned money to go watch, it takes away from the game. It's not good for the game. So I think it's a problem that needs to be fixed. I mean, what is going on? So I did some research to find out, a few things of why these players are getting hurt. Y'all make sure I hit that like button. And I found 3 things. The first thing I want to start off with is genetics. Look, just like in anything that you do, there are just certain people who might have things that other people don't have based off their body mechanics. You know what I'm saying? Based off of, um, just what they're able to do, their body mechanics, and their genetics, they may just have better luck than other people because of how their body's made up. You can't control that. Some people may just, naturally be gifted. Look at a guy like LeBron James, who's rarely been injured his career, been playing 20 years, who's 6'8", 260, 70 pounds, can run and jump like, he's like a 6'1", 6'2" guard, but he has the frame of a Karl Malone. I mean, that's just genetics, man. That's something that you can't teach. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. But um there's people that, like Anthony Davis, whose bodies are not as, or maybe a Zion Williamson, who's just their bodies are just not, you know, naturally able to withstand the physical toll of a full season, or they have to go through, um, certain, things, what I'm saying, like injuries and stuff like that, little knickknacks, because their body just does not have the capacity to hold up for a whole season, like a guy like Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? He has what they call tendinopathy, where he's been low managing since the beginning of his career for the most part because he has to. I made a video about this not too long ago about people talking about Kawhi Leonard needs to go out there and play. When I made the case that this guy literally misses games because he has to be able to withstand the 482 game season. If he goes out there and just plays game after game, it's actually a negative towards his body. It's not how he wants it to be, but it's just how it is. And that's just go back to genetics. He doesn't, I mean, genetically, you might say, yeah, he's strong as hell. Kawhi does hit the gym. He does work out. He lifts like a crazy man. But his body, how it's put together, is just, degenerate knee and all that stuff, man. It's just some things you just can't control. Right. So you have to find other ways to get over that hump. Right. But that just go back to, again, genetics. Some people just have the genetics to be able to last longer than others. That's what I think Kawhi Leonard is going to. Another thing, body mechanics. This is where you have a hard time. You don't know how to actually run, jump, land, how you run on, certain parts of your body that, makes you more prone to injury. That's like a guy like a Derrick Rose to me. Derrick Rose was one of the premier athletes in the early 2010s who was on the verge of taking over the whole league when they still had, a prime LeBron of, Dwayne Wade and players like that at the time, Kevin Durant, and, what I'm saying, all these great players in the early 2010s. D Rose was in that conversation. He was the MVP, youngest MVP of all time, the Chicago Bulls, I think at age 22. So he's had things that he's been able to accomplish, but his career was cut short because of his injuries, right? He was so fast, so explosive. That's what people used to say about him all the time, but it caught up to him because his body mechanics and how he ran and how he jumped, how he landed was taking a wear and tear to the point where he finally his body just gave out on him. He started having little, non-contact injuries. And that's another thing. When you have non-contact injuries, that means there's a weakening of the muscle. There's certain injuries that people have, like contact, when you land on somebody's foot or you get bumped or something that you can't control. I mean, it's just an accident, a free accident. But when you have non-contact injuries, like, what I'm saying, Achilles and knees and stuff like that, when nobody even touches you, that's basically your body just giving out on you. And a lot of it has to do with, how players run and how players jump. If you watch Derrick Rose when he used to play, one thing you would notice when he would run, he would actually run on his heels, his back of his heels instead of his tippy toes. So you're basically kind of flat-footed instead of being on your toes. That can cause you to have knee issues, have more of a chance for you to get a knee injury. See, a lot of this stuff people don't, study science and study body mechanics and kinology, kinesiology. I can't even pronounce it, but dealing with the bone structure, where they don't understand there's certain ways you have to run, jump, and land. And from what D Rose used to do, how he used to run, he would be running on the back of his heels. He'd run flat foot instead of running on his toes. Or he would land extremely hard when he goes up for a dunk. It was exciting to watch, but it takes a toll on your body. So those are things that a lot of NBA players are not taught, to know how to run and know how to jump and know how to accelerate, how to decelerate. They just go off of, oh, I'm just fast. I got a 40+ inch vertical. I can do all this. I'm young. I'm still in my early 20s, so I can just do what I want. Now I understand that these take a toll on your body later on, right? That's the thing with Ja Morant. I see too. He needs to be careful. He needs to actually get like a Olympic coach to teach him how to, run correctly, know how to stop correctly, know how to jump and all that stuff, know how to control his body. But body mechanics is very important. It's very important how you run, how you jump, and how you land, because they can cause you to withstand, the full ground up 82 season. And the last one I'm gonna talk about is lack of strength training. Like I said, it doesn't make sense to me that there's better facilities now than it used to be, but players are still getting injured more. It doesn't make sense. If you have access to more technology and better weight facilities, it doesn't make sense for you to get more and more injured. That's telling me that your strength training is not where it needs to be. You're not actually spending time strengthening your body. That goes to me like a guy like Anthony Davis, who every time you just graze at him or touch him, you actually hold your breath because it could be an injury. From what I found out about Anthony Davis, he doesn't spend a lot of time actually literally lifting weights. I'm talking about metal weights, iron. You know what I'm saying? Not the little bands and not the little aerobic stuff. You need to be lifting actual real weights. Um that's called real strength training and body maintenance, right? Guy like Karl Malone's a fitness guru who you rarely seen get injured because the dude was basically, look how he's built. He spent a lot of time in the weight room. That's to protect your body from other people injuring you. But when you're frail and when you have, joints that are not strong and you look strong from the outside, but you're not strong as far as, from a standpoint of being what's the word? You're not able to withstand the whole season pretty much. And you keep getting injured more and more times. It's basically something that you're not, your bones and your tendons and your muscles are not accumulated to, taking the wear and tear of a season of getting hit and stuff like that. That goes back to, again, strength training. So a lot of these players are not lifting weights for the most part, or taking their weight training seriously. A guy like Michael Jordan, who played 82 games, I remember when I heard when him saying that he was going to spend more time in the weight room after he kept getting beat by the Detroit Pistons. I remember seeing that in the documentary, and his game changed. Once you get stronger and once your body develops, you become more confident. You become more confident in your game. That's when you take that leap. When you start putting muscle on, when you start putting real mass on, that's when you start actually getting more comfortable in your game. Not too much mass because you don't want to slow down, but you enough to kind of, be like, all right, I can take the hits, I can take the elbows, I can take all that. But if you're not lifting those type of weights in the off season or in the season, or at least having that maintenance in the season, you're gonna have these little injuries, little knickknacks. But it doesn't make sense because these players have better facilities. But that's all I wanted to say. I mean, that was just something I wanted to touch on because it's really, really kind of strange to me that we keep looking around the league and a lot of these players are getting injured, man, because it's taking away from the excitement of the game because we can't even watch our stars play anymore. But that's all I have to say about that. Continue to pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull out. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.